Good evening, Podium Chasers. I hope you are all well. Welcome back. It's Wednesday evening, and that means only one thing as far as we're all concerned, and that is the European Racing Series GT3 Championship. You have heard it before. It is the biggest GT3 Championship in Europe, certainly that I've been involved with, and this evening, I believe we're round 5 this evening, and we are at Watkins Glen. We've decided to take a little hop over the pond and see what delights the American tracks can throw at our drivers this evening. So, obviously, if you're not aware, I'm COMMS by COOPS. We do the live stream. This is going out on my YouTube channel, COMMS by COOPS, and also on the European Racing Series TV Twitch channel at the same time. So we've got access to all the chats. Please don't be shy, get involved. I do like to have some participation from our fantastic audience as we go through the evening. So we'll crack on with that. So format for this evening, as we're just having a look at Patino in his Honda at the moment. I will say, in terms of liveries, I know we've had a couple of issues over the previous weeks. Me and Joel have been working very, very hard to get those fixed, as have individuals within their teams as well. And shortly before we went live with this session, I again manually uploaded about eight or nine of them, and there are some very nice liveries, very, very nice liveries on the grid. So you'll be happy with that. There are one or two which aren't still. Again, I'm sure we'll have to tweak something or go back to whoever made those and just try and make sure that everything is correct on there. But I think the vast majority are done, which is great. So, format for this evening, this is the GT3 Championship, as you are all well aware. So, previously what we've done, we've had, because we've had that many people on track, I mean previously it was like 45, 46. What we did then in qualifying was we then increased the qualifying session and split those down into 2 splits. I have been informed that for this evening there won't be any splits, so all of them will get to go out at the same time, which, I mean, considering Watkins Glen as a track is not that big and only has 11 corners, finding space, well, I mean, that might just be another challenge for everybody. So we'll see how that plans out, most definitely. And then once we've got qualifying out of the way, we do have a 65-minute race. There is one mandatory stop where obviously you need to ensure that you do complete that pit stop. We have a 20-minute window, so we're around about a third of the way into the race. That gives the guys 20 minutes to actually decide to, well, you know, have a strategy, if there is such a thing. In the live chat, Alan Brown is in. Hello, Alan. How are you this evening? I saw you doing a bit of LFM grinding earlier on today. Hopefully that went well. And I think it is going to be pretty bonkers around here, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, won't we? So what have we got? At the moment, we've got 11 minutes left of free practice. We will, of course, do a full lap guide once we get into qualifying. But whilst we get in the mood from that, whilst we get ready for that, let's have a look at some of the liveries that we've got on offer today. Let's just have a look at a couple of them. So this is Jose Alejandro Perez in the 112 Honda. There's a very bright little Honda there, isn't it, indeed? So I'm sure Alessandro will be looking for another decent finish today. Petrosini. I know Petrosini's been doing pretty well of late. Yeah, got to battle with Rory. Oh, you did? And were you victorious in that battle, Briz, or not? Or was it just a case of, woohoo, I'm famous? Either way, I'm sure that's all good. Andrea, who I saw on earlier on, actually, was going pretty quick at the start of free practice. Was certainly top of the timesheets. And we know Andrea's extremely quick from the previous rounds in the 33 Aston Martin. So again, it will be interesting to see how he gets on. Sebastian Apostel obviously had a good result again last week. We know his livery works because we got it to work 2 weeks ago. So he's going to be extremely happy with that, no doubt. Fazekas in the 95 Honda is with us this evening. Another rather bright livery. I was doing some commentary yesterday evening as well, and actually I did the 24 hours of Spa over the weekend, so this is day 4 out of 5 doing live comms, which is brilliant, don't get me wrong, but it should be a full-time job at this rate. Emmanuel is in there going, go Guidici. Right, I want to know how you're pronouncing that properly, because that's why I just go with Andrea, because I don't want to do anyone a disservice. So that's all I'm saying on that. And he says, yeah, no, finished 2 spots behind him. 2 seconds. Okay, well, sounds like you had a lot of fun there, mate. We've had a look at Sebastian already in the 111 Honda. He's in what you could call the pit lane. I mean, there's a lot of tents there, a lot of gazebos. Maybe it should be called Gazebo Alley. Who knows? Jason Kellaway's with us this evening in the 23. Aston Martin, you see at the end of the pit lane there, we do have somebody rocking out the Team Carbon. That's 77. We'll check out who exactly that is in just a moment. Brugnara, remember, Brugnara, look at that. His livery's on today. I did say the other week that him and what is it, Manuel? Him and his cousin or brother, or someone in his family, most certainly, obviously both running that kind of British racing green on their cars. And obviously the other Brugnara was in a Ferrari, and I was thinking, that can't be how they want it. And no, we've managed to get both of their liveries on, so that looks pretty cool. So there you go, Samuel, you are on there. Danilo Magnani in the 818 BMW. There you go, lovely livery on that one. See, Gidici. I don't know, Chris. I don't know. Shuppy's in. How you doing, buddy? I hope you're well, mate. Hope you're having a good day. And you've just come to laugh at me again doing this, haven't you? Right, Christian Stock in the 25 Porsche. The livery is on. Johannes Weiss livery is on in the Lamborghini, as you can see there. Emmanuel Raggi. Okay, so this is the one we've been having problems with all season, actually. These chaps, I don't know what it is. We've played with the files, we've done them manually, we've made sure it's come, we've taken them out, put them back in, but don't know what's happening with them, unfortunately. Riccardo Paggi in the 93 Mercedes, you can see at the end of the pit lane there, livery is on. Centolino, no, don't have that one in the 14 Porsche for Marco, that's unfortunate. And Sverkov in the number 20 Audi, he is on. Yes, he is indeed. Good. Oliga, yep, I've just put that on this evening, and Shuffy says he's all good. That is what I like to hear, Chris. That is what I like to hear. Are you growing massively over the waters? I mean, we are in America today, so I mean, maybe you're there. I don't know. Bogdanovic, as we can see, well, we didn't miss that Aston last time. We're not going to miss it again. Baldini in the 26 Aston, where's that one? There we go, the bright pink Aston Martin, so that's there. Catalano is also in the 57 Nissan, as you can see, livery is on. Matoli, livery is on in the 46 McLaren. Jacopo Carai, livery is on in the Beamer, so we're doing alright, we are doing okay, to be quite honest with you. Kralin in the 68 in the Porsche, yep, that one is on. Crepesi, no, Crepesi is Team Carbon at the moment. Benelli is on, which is good. Gowrie is on as well. Miles Clarkson in his Bentley, livery on in the 108. George Clarkson, his livery is on as well. So currently we have 31 in. We've got 6 minutes left of free practice, and then things are going to start getting a bit more interesting. Oscar Hole is also rocking Team Carbon in the 966 Aston. Which is a shame. So I think we've got 4. I think 4 altogether there that haven't. I mean, whatever the reason is, we've got 4 missing, which is a lot better than what it was earlier on in the season. Miles better. So Oscar's currently setting the pace with a 142.982, and that's probably about half a tenth quicker than Perez in the 22. So that's just giving you a rough idea. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, these are separated by less than a tenth. So Perez with a 43 flat. Petrosini is also a 43 flat. He's 300ths behind. Then we've got Andreas in 4th with a 43.1. So another half tenth down. Then again, another half tenth down is Fazekas. And then we've got back tenth and a half to Apostle. 43s. So currently the top 12 are in the 43s. Which is just like last night when we were doing the COMMS in another league. I think it was the top 14 were separated by just under a second, which was absolutely ridiculous. So it means for us we're going to get some very good close racing, aren't we? And no one has to absolutely nail corner 1. We're not going to win anything in turn 1. These guys have all been racing with each other now for a number of weeks or possibly seasons. So they should have an understanding of what the other individuals' characteristics are in terms of driving. So hopefully we'll have a nice clean race. Yeah, if there's only 31 on track, that gives enough space, I think. And yeah, most certainly strategy will come into play. In the live chat, anybody in particular? Oh, let's get Andrea on, because I know Andrea has evidently got some support in there. And let's have a little bit of, you guessed it, Podium Chasers Aston time. Thank you very much. Excuse me. So, evidently, we've got to think about Watkins Glen as a track. Now, my overall understanding of Watkins Glen is minimal in terms of actually driving it. I've never raced at Watkins Glen. We've done COMMS on here a few times, and it always throws up some interesting. I think setup is really important, especially through this section here, through the inner loop and then going into the outer loop. You know, those curves come at you thick and fast, and it is most definitely, yes, Briz, that's why she's on there, because we love that sound. It's really important through that section of the track to be able to have the car balanced, and we're not talking just about the steering, it's more about the pedal inputs to make sure that we can keep the car as flat and as steady as possible to be able to attack those curves. It's really, really important. And then we do have a lot of sort of medium corners here, so patience is very much key at this track. You can't be jumping on the throttle too early, because obviously you're going to get yourself a nice bit of over rotation. As you can see, just tweaking that steering wheel there, just feeding that, that was about perfect actually, most certainly just about on the edge from Andrea. Come up to the penultimate corner. Ooh, wow, I mean, we've got to find the limit. That's what free practice is for, right? That's what I'm saying. Best sounding car ever, says Alan. I don't disagree with you. And into the pit lane. I can't call it a pit lane. It doesn't look like a pit lane, does it really? Let's be honest. It doesn't look like a pit lane. So Andrea, that lap was looking pretty handy until that happened. We've got just under 2 minutes left now, and then we'll get ourselves into a nice qualifying session, which I'm sure everybody is going to be very, very keen. You guys can see on your screen at the moment, you can see those splits. Yeah, you've got half a tenth, then about under a tenth, just over a tenth back to 4th place, then nearly 2 tenths, 3 tenths, so it is all pretty close. Down to 14th is where we get a second gap. Formula Racing League's in faster. That is either Keddy or that's James pretending to be Keddy. Who is it? Reveal yourselves. No, please do. I hate just waiting. The suspense kills me. Absolutely does. So 1 minute left of free practice. Who should we pick? What other victims shall we have? Let's go with Bugnara in the number 9 Audi. Let's have a little listen to her, shall we? It's got to be Keddy if he's saying faster, Briz. And Keddy should be racing tonight, actually. Well, he normally is, but if he's flying, he won't be with us. We've got 33 in now, so Rodolfo Lenardi is also in, and Loris Guaglio has joined us as well, which is great. The more the merrier. 40 seconds left. Let's hope they get in before qualifying starts properly. That is a nice livery. Is a nice livery. Right, let's have a look at Loris Guaglio, the 32. We do have a livery on there. Yes, indeed we do. And Lenardi. Let's have a look at Lenardi. Yes, we have a livery on that as well. Good. That's exactly what I want to see. Good. So you guys can all be fairly happy, as Oscar Hall is still leading the way at the front of free practice. He's in the pits. Doesn't need to do anything else now with a 142.982. We'll see how he gets on this evening, but I think he's definitely going to have a few challenges. Definitely going to be a few challenges. The session comes to a close. So remember, once we've done with qualifying, we are going to have a 65-minute race with one mandatory stop. There's a 20-minute pit window. Remember, this is round 5 of 7, so we are over the halfway mark. And in terms of the championship standings, we're going to do a full rundown of those next week pre-show. Okay, because that's an issue for me in terms of time, really. So I'd spend a lot of time with liveries, and wasn't able to grab all those other bits that I needed, so apologies, but we'll have a full rundown next week. But that's all good, as everyone is just finishing. So Sebastian, he's just dropped into the pits as well, so we should be good to go. I think we've got one more. Who else is still out? Come on, get in the pits. Matoli pulls over in his 46. McLaren, there we go. What a beautiful sight that is. Colourful. Not Team Carbon everywhere. I like it. Right. As we have a short wait before we move into qualifying. So remember, there's only 11 corners here. And the thing is, what I don't get, well, some of these circuits that we go to, 108 is still out. Who's 108? Miles Clarkson. Right, come on, Miles. Let's have a look at you. You'll probably put it in the wall now. There we go. Let's watch Miles finish his practice lap. That thunderous sound on the Bentley or the Boatley, depending on what you want to call her. Serkan Duran, you've timed that beautifully, Serkan, in his Lamborghini, no doubt. Right, let's check that out. Let's do quali. Let's do Delta for quali. Okay, so on your screen, just to explain what has changed there, obviously you've got the driver numbers. They're all in the same class, hence they've all got a white background. You can see them coming in and out of the pits, and then the information just to the left of that where it says 00 at the moment, that will change to green or red depending on if they are up on their personal best Delta throughout the qualifying session. So it is back to the original format. We've got a 15-minute session. And these individuals have got to get out there, and they've got to start setting some decent laps. So who is first out the bag? It's Mattia Brugnara in the Ferrari. Well, we did look at Samuel, so I guess we should have a look at you as well, shouldn't we? Most certainly. Why not? So we can see he's just currently coming round, well, again, I was just about to talk about this, coming down the boot. And then he's going to go into the heel. Seriously, I don't get who makes up the names for these corners on these circuits. Because here, we've got the first 5 corners have no name. The inner loop and the outer loop are classed as corner 5 and corner 6, when evidently there's quite a lot of directional changes in there. And then it moves on and we go through shoot, toe, heel. And then there's no more names for the last 3 corners. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Anyway, so as Mattia comes to start his first flying lap, let's get on board and let's have a look at what it's like to do a flying lap around Watkins Glen. So up to the first corner, around about the 100 board, hard on the brakes, down into second, get the car tucked in. You want to be using the curb then, and the track limits are really loose here. It's like Mazzano. You can really abuse those track limits, get the car nice and tight in the run up the hill. We're pretty much just trying to straight line through here. It's just a small section of S's. Nothing major is going to happen with the car. You just want to be able to create, well, you want to get momentum, don't you? As we come up towards the inner loop, we're going to get hard on the brakes a minute. Remember I was saying about keeping the car balanced? Take that curve, then you've got to pretty much try and straight line through there. Not too bad. Ooh, a little bit of oversteer. Jeopardy is on the way, and then we're going to power through there, use all the curb on the left hand side, put it directly across to the right straight away on the brakes, down a couple of gears, balance the car. These are those medium corners I was talking about as we go through toe, and then we've got a short run down towards here, which is a long medium right hander, so we've got to back off slightly, down a gear or 2, hold the car. You've got to wait until we get to the middle, feel the car grip up, then hard on the accelerator again, use that exit strip there, and then down the boot up towards heel. Another right hander, a bit sharper this one, so we need a bit more brakes on the 100 board. Down we go, couple of gears, car's tucked in, just got to wait, be a little bit patient there, and then again use all of that exit curve, get the car over to the right, and we're going to just swing it in left. Nicely done. Don't get, okay, no oversteer, that was nice, that was very, very nice, Mattia. And then we've got the final, well, not the final corner, the penultimate corner. Again, we're just pretty much nailing it through there, a bit of a lift off. Again, it's about having the car balanced into the final right hander, just backing off slightly, just enough to get the nose turned in, and then you are bang straight on the throttle, and that is your lap guide for Watkins Glen. And what does he do? That's the question. So Mattia does a 1:43.540, whereas Oscar, wow. I mean, we know Oscar's got some pace, don't we? But Oscar's done a 43.355, so he's currently on provisional pole. Fazekas has gone quicker, and then we've got Brugnara. Ricardo Raggi, there we go, in 4th place, currently at the moment with a 43.722. Now again, remember, on the screens that you're looking at the moment, you can see the deltas and how much they're changing. So for instance, Apostle is 0.7, 0.8 up on, excuse me, on his previous lap time. That will teach me for eating my dinner rather quickly before we come and do live comms, but that's not your problem, that's mine. So Apostle was 1.2 seconds up. What was his last lap time? Sebastian's last time was a 44.9, so that would be a 43.7, and that would put him around 5th place if he can keep it up at that rate. So we shall see. Now it's 1.1, so he's looking at around about P7 at this stage. They've probably only got 1 lap in them at the moment. They've done 1 sighter in terms of getting those tyres warmed up. And Brooke is in. Evening. Hope you're well, buddy. Hope you are well. This is the European Racing Series, largest GT3 Championship in Europe, and round 5 from season 9, round 5 at Watkins Glen. So we're in qualifying. We've had 5 minutes of qualifying at the moment. Certainly the individuals that were laying down markers in free practice are pushing the boat at this stage. And we've got someone in the wall there. That's unfortunate, isn't it? And that was Oscar, I believe. So Oscar really pushing on that final corner, and evidently just squeezing that throttle a little bit too much and got himself into a spin of death, which sent him to the wall, which is unfortunate. And I did say Sebastian would be around about 7th place with a 43.7, and he's parked up. There we go, and look at him, look at that. 43.7, 8th place. It's close enough, close enough. Yeah, so just a quick reminder out to everybody, this is going out across 2 platforms. It's going out on my YouTube channel, Comms by Coops. It's also going out on the ERS Twitch channel as well. So please don't be shy, get involved, say hello, let me know who you're supporting, ask any questions you want. Really like to get involved with people during these streams. I think it just makes it that much more interesting. Once Book is saying he's okay. Thank you, mate. Going to the shed. Okay, before you go, why are you going to the shed? What are you doing in the shed? Are you making something? Are you part of the A-team? You are, aren't you? You're going to go in with a screwdriver and you're going to come out of a tank. Don't forget the theme tune. Thanks for dropping in and leaving a like, mate. I really appreciate it. If anyone else, well, why not? Why not indeed? We all need one of those sometimes. If anyone else hasn't left a like yet, please do so. Be very much appreciative of that. So Andrea goes provisional P2. Perez has gone quickest of all at the moment with a 43.0. Track temps, okay, it's 23 ambient, 30 on track, so it's not. Yeah, I bet you do. I mean, that's not massively warm, is it? It's not going to absolutely eat the tyres, but it is. I think that's a bit different from practice, so that is going to make a difference to how they've got their cars set up. But Perez doing a sterling job at the moment, and has, to be fair, been really quick all season. Hasn't had some luck in occasions. Same with Andrea, to be fair. Let's see if anyone else has managed to jump in later on. No, Serkan, is he out? There he is. Serkan Duran in his Lamborghini. He loves that Lamborghini. Every league I've been in where Serkan has ended up, he's been in that Lamborghini. So I'm expecting big things, Serkan. Let's have a quick run through of the order. Where are we? Halfway through. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that though. So Andrea's in second. Brugnara is currently still in third. Oscar is in 4th place. He's definitely going to be looking to improve on that. Definitely going to be looking to improve on that, because we know he's got some pace. Sebastian Patino is in 5th currently with a 43.3. So basically, Andrea's a 43.3.1. Brugnara's a 43.3.3. Oscar's a 43.3.3, but there's only 3 thousandths between those two. Patino, apologies, Sebastian, is a 43.3.5. And then Fazekas is a 43.3.8. This is ridiculously tight at the moment. Kellaway, well, I said the other week that Kellaway, I think he finished 3rd or 4th, and he just had a very anonymous race. If you remember Kyle Armour, he was just anonymous. He was just doing his job, just getting about, getting those laps done. Didn't get involved in any issues of anyone else, and I was very impressed with that. Because it's difficult sometimes when you're racing not to try and get drawn into those battles. I've got 25 has stopped on track. We'll check that one out in a minute. So, but Kellaway's currently in P7. Samuel Brignara's in 8th. There he is. In his brand new livery Audi. Fabulous. Alessandro Caticala is in 9th position in the number 60 Ferrari. Oh, what? Let's have a look at that one. I like that. Very nice, Alessandro. Riccardo Paggi, there in the 93 Mercedes, is currently 11th. Sebastian's in the pit, so he's coming out now, so he's currently in 12th. He needs to, I think he's probably been just letting the track evolve slightly. We've got 5.5 minutes left of this qualifying session. Danilo Magnani is in 13th place in the 818 BMW. It's okay. I mean, the grass does need to be flattened sometimes. It's all good. Just pushing a little bit too hard there, but that's okay. Christian Stock's in 14th position currently in his Porsche. I want to have a listen to the Porsche. Come on, join me and let's have a listen and a watch of what's going on in the cockpit of that Porsche. Dramas? No, he's backed out of that one, hasn't he? So he's just, you can see, he's just backing off there. He's just trying to give himself a bit more of a gap with 4.5 minutes left. So he's probably got a couple of laps, a couple of flying laps in. So we'll see. The Porsche obviously sounds rather nice at full chat, but he's just trying to get himself some space. So Christian's in 14th currently. Johannes Weiss in the 271 Lamborghini, probably a teammate, given that livery. He's just going through the inner loop there, just coming up towards the outer loop. Again, it's going to be interesting to see because the sort of longer, the longer sort of medium speed corners is all about having the balance, obviously, to make sure that we're taking entry speed, mid-corner speed, and being able to get on the throttle coming out of those, and just to have the poise. But then when you're going through the inner loop, it's then really about the directional change and the balance at the same time. So does give them something to think about. Emmanuel Raggi, 17th position currently in the 77 Honda. Max Oliger is 17th in the number 11 BMW. Currently in the pits at the moment. Stefan Kralin is 18th in his 68 Porsche. And all these guys obviously are looking to improve on that. Lukas Verkov in the number 20 Audi. Let's have a look at your livery. Come on, Luca. There we go. Look at that. Like it. Colourful. Marco Centrino in the number 14 Porsche. No livery on that one, unfortunately. Team Carbon, but it's currently 21st. Lorenzo Vassarani is in the 47 Audi. We do have a livery on there. Again, great to see. And then we've got Bogdanovic is currently 23rd in his bright Aston. Baudinini in the 26. Wow. Just as bright Aston. Currently 24th. Rodolfo Lenardi's in 25th in his 375 BMW there, and then we've got Karai's 26th in the 74 Beamer. Again, all looking to try and improve. We don't have long left on this, 2.5 minutes to go. Alessandro Mattoli in the 46 McLaren is currently attacking the track, and then Loris Guaglio's 28th, 22 Ferrari. David Gowrie in the Aston, the 115 Aston is in the pits at the moment. It's currently 29th. Crepesi in the 17 Team Carbon McLaren is 30th. George Clarkson is in the pits in his Bentley. Miles Clarkson, got to be related, in his Bentley is also, well, he's out on track, sorry, not in the pits. Lorenzo Benelli in the 222 McLaren is out. I do like that. I do like that McLaren. And then Serkan. So that's your grid at the moment in terms of how many runners we've got. 34. I'm not going to have anyone else joining at this stage, so it does give me a little bit more of a breather, as Perez is still top of the charts with a 43 flat. Now, Fazekas has brought the gap down. Remember, the four behind were doing 43.3s. Fazekas has brought that down to a 43.1. Let's see what he can actually do in the last minute and a half of qualifying. You have to excuse me for 1 second. Oh dear, well that's some family plans cancelled at the weekend, but that means I could do more comms or maybe do some driving. Indeed, if you do want a lesson on how to drive around Spa in the 24-hour endurance race, you should have a look at... Well, I didn't actually stream it, because I was just scared, to be honest with you, that I was going to make some big mistakes and everyone would just, you know, haunt me as the comms guy. But no, I did very well. Did do very well. There we go. So just under 30 seconds left. Right, so we do have a challenger. Perez is now only 15 thousandths down, but he's a tenth down on this lap. He needs to up the pace on this one. Come on, Perez. If you're going to challenge, now is the time. Well, say someone's challenging him. Petrosini's gone P1, so Perez needs to do his quickest lap to try and get that position back. So Matteo Petrosini, that is a stonking lap. Well done to you in the Audi, making light work of these 11 corners here. And where is Perez? So there he is. He's just coming up towards the penultimate corner. What you're going to do? What you're going to do is not going to do anything, is he? Because he's 0.4 down. So that, ladies and gents, looks like that's a done deal. Yellow flag's waving as well. Across the line he comes. No, indeed. Wow. Well. Who else is still out? Let's see if Fazekas. So Fazekas is a tenth and a half down. He's currently pretty much pegging what he did before, so that's not going to be going anywhere. Catricala could have challenged, but has ended up in the pit, so that lap evidently wasn't going as planned, and Fazekas finds himself stuck. Well, maybe not stuck, but was certainly behind a sideways moving Honda towards the wall, and he's a tenth up. What does he need? He needs... Oh, well, Petrosini's in the 42s. What are you going to do, Fazekas? He's 2 tenths up. 2 tenths isn't good enough. They'd miss out by 12 thousandths if he stays at 2 tenths, so he needs about 2... Well, he needs 2.2, doesn't he, really, to secure that pole position. Is he going to do it, though? That's the question. Up to the penultimate corner he goes. Takes that quite nicely. No dramas there. He's got to get on the throttle early coming out of here. Go, go, go. Just put it all on the table, dude. Fazekas comes up towards the start-finish line. What is he going to do? Is he going to pip that pole or not? The answer would be not, ladies and gents. Blimey. Well, there you go. So that was qualifying. Qualifying has been completed. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. So your starting grid, Petrosini is on pole position. Congratulations, Petrosini. That was very, very well deserved. Jose Alejandro Perez starts in second place. Barnabas Fazekas, who we saw then trying really hard to try and get that pole position, will start in third place. Alessandro Catricala is going to be in fourth. Oscar Hull is going to be in fifth place in his Aston Martin. Then Andrea Guidis is going to be in sixth place. Sebastian Apostel in seventh. Mattia Brugnara is going to be in eighth. Sebastian Patino is going to start ninth for us this evening. And then Jason Kellaway, just in the top 10, just doing his thing. We'll see how he gets on. Why won't you let me do that? Ah, well. It likes to do that to me sometimes, doesn't it? So, Kellaway's in the top 10. Then we've got Samuel Brugnara's 11th. Riccardo Paggi is going to start in 12th for us this evening. Christian Stock 13th. Danilo Magnani is going to be 14th. Johannes Weiss 15th. Rodolfo Lunardi in 16th. Then we've got Emmanuel Araghi in the 77. He's going to start 17th. Max Oliger 18th. Lorenzo Vasirani is going to be 19th. And then Matteo Baldinini is going to round out your top 20. Stefan Kralin 21st, Manuel Catalano is 22nd, Lucas Verkov 23rd, Marco Centrino 22nd. Mateusz Bogdanovic will be 23rd. Alejandro Matoli is going to start 24th. Jacopo Carai 27th. Yep, 27th. Sorry, I read the wrong number there. Loris Guaglio is going to be 28th. David Gowrie 29th. Then Lorenzo Benelli is going to be 30th. And at the back of the grid, we've got Gabriel Crepesi, George Clarkson, and Miles Clarkson, which to my memory means that Serkan Duran has either been disconnected or has thought, nah, this doesn't feel right. I've only been here 30 seconds. So we've got 33 runners tonight. Remember, we have a 65-minute race. Let's change that. Race gaps. 30 seconds. Thank you very much. I've hit drive. Come on. Right, let's get across this and set this up before the race gets started. 22. I'll do it on 23 because I can't do halves. 20 minutes. That all good? Yeah, that's great. Right, so Matteo starts P1. Let's get up there and have a look, shall we? Right, as the formation lap gets underway, that was timed rather nicely, wasn't it? So formation lap underway. This will, of course, be a full formation lap. I don't believe it is guided. These guys and girls have been at this long enough now to not need to follow red and green boxes. So we'll see how this gets on. Full formation lap, it's only 11 corners, so it's not going to take that long, but it just gives them a chance, maybe, just to, well, I'd be expecting quite a lot of dragging of the brake. Get some heat pushed out into those tyre walls. In terms of track conditions, it was 23:30, wasn't it? So it's still 23 ambient. Track temp has gone up by 1 degree. I'm sure we've got an optimal track at the moment now as well, so that's got to allow everyone to just turn down that traction control a smidge and let the skill of their left and right feet do the job. Hopefully. Although you can see Petrosini is under a little bit of pressure there because he's got Perez and Fazekas, who, as you can see, their liveries are rather similar, aren't they? Which I would suggest means they're in the same team. So he's got quite a bit of pressure, which is going to be being put on him in the first few corners. And again, remember, the type of corners that we have, it's going to be very, very easy to be trying to snatch at the throttle a little bit, or, you know, oversteering. And when I say oversteering, I don't mean getting oversteer, I mean oversteering and then scrubbing the tyres a little bit. That's obviously going to be possible. Fuel loads, who knows what they're running fuel load wise. Are they planning to stop on 20 minutes? Are they going to stop on 40 minutes? They're going to go bang in the middle? Again, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, which is the beauty of it. And that's why I love it when we throw in a pit stop or two. It makes the drivers think and make decisions on the fly, which is even more impressive. Excuse me. I'm just trying to choke. Right. Are we good? No, we're not good. My voice is going. This is what happens when you do comms 4 days on the trot. Oh dear. Okay, so where are we now? We're coming down. We're coming down the boot. They say boot is a straight, and then into where are we now? Into it's crazy, isn't it? Into heel, and we're getting ready. Last couple of corners now, they're all going to start forming up 2 by 2, and then we are going to get ready to race, ladies and gents. So everyone that's in at the moment, good evening, welcome. You are about to witness 65 minutes of fantastic racing in the biggest GT3 Championship in Europe on ACC, brought to you by the European Racing Series. So this is season 9, round 5 of 7, so things are getting a bit juicy now. And Alessandro is in on the Twitch channel. Hello. Hi, how you doing? Hope you're well. Hope you are well. Let me know who you're supporting. You're fantastic. So we are lined up 2 by 2. We're getting ready to go now. And this is going to be... let's pray. Let's pray for a clean T1. Please. Please, everyone. Right, let's just change that a little bit. Change that. Let's get back over here. Okay, so European Racing Series. Round 5 is green. We are go, and they are in the run down towards turn 1 currently. They've gone full wide in there. Did Sebastian get tagged there? I wonder. And it's paused. It's not letting me change. Right, so Sebastian is still in 7th. So he's managed to hold that position, but he's coming under. That's Kellaway. That's Kellaway and the Aston on the outside of those three. So we've got Brugnara who's in the middle. They're going to go 3 wide. This could get very, very juicy. Please don't crash, everyone. And then you've got Oscar in his Aston Martin as well as we come through. We knew it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen, didn't we? Let's have a little replay on that. Let's see if it's going to pause or it's going to show me what I need to see. Those 2 Astons were both doing the dance. Look at them at the same time. Both absolute fists full of oversteer there. It's always going to happen at that point. Anyway, back at the front of the grid. Back at the front, Petrosini is now still leading. He's managed to hold that position, which is great news from him. Perez has held 2nd place. However, Fazekas has dropped down to 5th. So, evidently, those first couple of corners didn't really work out too well for him. Catricano's moved up to 3rd position, and Andrea is now in 4th. So, gap-wise, there's all around about half a second at the moment, as you would expect, with it only being sort of the first, second flying lap. And then there is, again, there's nothing back to Sebastian as well. He's at the back of that train, and then we've got a 2.5 second gap back to Jason Kellaway in his 23 Aston Martin. So that's your initial breakaway pack, those 6, and they've now just got to push. They've had all the craziness of lap 1. Yeah, all that adrenaline, everything that's going for it, that is done and dusted. They've now got to try and settle into a little bit of a rhythm, which I'm sure they're going to try and do. But this looks like a move potential on the race. This is Kellaway versus Oscar as they come in to T1. Again, both making sure they utilise those track limits, shall we say, up into turn 2. Another right-hander there, and then followed by a left-hander. Remember, this is the uphill S's. Not much to do on here. You've just literally got to straight line that as much as you can. And then now we've got the interesting situation coming down in towards the inner loop again. Now we saw these two both had a bit of an issue through here last time. And Oscar Hall, wow, how much more confident was he going through there? I mean, he absolutely flew through there. And Kellaway, quite the opposite, has absolutely no confidence in that Aston through there at this particular stage of the race because he's lost himself another position. Wow, so Jason's just lost 2 places, down to 9th, so Magnani manages to take advantage of that in his BMW, and now Brugnara, well, he wants a piece, doesn't he? Let's see what he can do. Again, we've almost got another lap completed, and why have I got so many people? There must have been others involved in instancing, because Paggy, Mattoli, Baldinini, Clarkson and Cralin are all in the pits. So they must have had some issues at the beginning of the race, which is highly unfortunate, to be quite honest with you. Up at the top, no change at the top. Petrosini has built a 1.5 second gap as we watch this battle at the moment. Perez is in 2nd place, although Catricano is only 0.3 behind, so we'll need to have a look at that in a moment. Guidis 1.2 behind in 4th, 0.5 in 5th is Fazekas, and then Apostle is also very, very close onto the back of them. 0.4, just at the fastest lap of the race so far. That's Petrosini with a 1:43.852. Are we close enough for a challenge into T1? Certainly in the slipstream, hard on those brakes, thought better of it. I know a lot of people would have probably tried to have a little dive up the inside there, but how close do you want to get to that bumper? Excuse me, Aston. He's backed out to... Okay, wow, that was good driving, Brugnara. That was good driving, and Kellaway managed to hold on to that, which was pretty impressive from him. But this is all kicking off, isn't it, as we have a look at that beautiful livery on that number 60 Ferrari from Alejandro Catricano in 3rd position. Was 0.3 seconds behind a few moments ago, but that's now dropped up by 7/10. He's now a full second off the back of Perez, which is pretty good for him. Gives you some breathing space, doesn't it? Yes, it does. And his teammate is coming under quite a lot of pressure from this guy, Sebastian Apostle, putting on the pressure now. BMW. Oh, I think we selected, or we did an accidental upshift there, and that's probably gone and lost him a little bit of momentum, although not too bad. So we've just gone through boot and then through heel and toe. Hey, maybe they're thinking because it's motor racing. No, heel and toe, no, forget it. Right, any of you watching on the Twitch channel, if you haven't followed, please do. If you want to pop over to the YouTube channel as well, Comms by Coops, that would be fantastic. Drop me a like over there. I'm always happy to have new people watching. We've got some flashing going on as they cross the start-finish line for yet another lap into turn 1. And that BMW just concertinas up onto the back. These two are having a good battle, Honda versus BMW. Just in front of them, and we've got Andrea not really getting away from anyone at this stage. So let's move down the pack a little bit. Obviously, there's probably going to be some major overtaking at the front now, but I do like to give everybody some airtime. So Oscar's been, we saw in free practice, Oscar Hull has been doing very well. He was really quick in free practice, just couldn't get it together for whatever reason in qualifying, but he's now starting to make his way back up through the grid. So finds himself currently in 7th place, and he's 2.3 seconds off the back of Sebastian, but he can see it. Well, if he's not going around a corner, so he knows that's where he wants to be. That's the group that he is trying his best to catch up on at the moment, and I'm sure he's got to keep going for the entire race. So Magnani is in 8th, another 2 seconds down the road in his BMW, as you can see there. And then we've got Samuel Brugnara not having the best of races by his standards, really. I mean, Brugnara's normally a few places further up, normally, but he's currently running in 9th, and he's got himself a second gap back towards Sebastian Patino. And he's in 10th position. Jason Kellaway's found himself now down outside the top 10 in 11th place. So I think this is just, I think he's heavily fueled. Yeah, I know he had a couple of mistakes going through the inner, what's it called? The inner loop. Shows you how many times I've been here. I know he's had a couple of issues through there, and he's trying to break that toe. That's not going to happen because Mattia Brugnara, who we know was quick in qualifying, is all over the back of him. So oh, hiya, cheers, thank you. Good timing, Mattia. You must know what's going on. And so Mattia's in 12th place. He's looking to make a move into 11th potentially, and then Johannes Weiss is 13th. Christian Stock is 14th. Do have, oh, that looks good to me. That looks nice to me, and they're going into the worst possible part of the track for Kellaway, but that looked a little bit more stable from him. So maybe the fuel's starting to burn off a little bit. You have to think, all these little ingredients together, the fuel burning off, the pressures and the temperatures in the tyres, they've all got to be in sync. And at the start of the race, if he's fueled long, so we can have a short pit stop, then, you know, are those tyres going to be able to handle that extra fuel load and pace that is pushing through there? We don't know, do we? All we can say is he's doing a pretty good job defending that, although Mattia now decides he's got to go and make a move. Of course he is. And, oh, Perez has had a crash. Oh, my word, Perez and Fazekas have crashed into each other. Teammates. What's happened there? Oh, okay, so it looks to me there that Perez had backed out because obviously he didn't want to have any contact with Andrea. That's what that looked like to me. And then obviously the knock-on effect from that, because they're all so tightly packed together, I think Sebastian gave a tiny little love tap there, and that sent Fazekas on his merry way. That was pretty unfortunate. So we do have change at the top, not in first position though. This is absolute music to Petrosini's ears. 2.8 seconds ahead now. Alessandro Catricano was previously in third, is now elevated up to the second step on the podium at this stage. And Andrea, as you can see, Andrea is in third, looking pretty feisty, needs to clear. I was going to say, not going to clear the McLaren through there, and that's evidently a slower moving McLaren, so Andrea wants that McLaren out of the way. so that the chase to Catricala can begin. Oscar finds himself in 4th. Sebastian, well, he hasn't done too badly at that, really, is he? He's in 5th place. Magnani's currently still in 6th. Not too far behind there. Magnani's only a second down the road, although Apostle's only 0.4 behind Oscar. So let's have a look and enjoy. Let's have a look and enjoy a little bit of Beamer action as he tries to put some pressure on that Aston Martin. So what have we had? We've only had 10 minutes. Blimey, 10 minutes gone already. It's been non-stop. That's the beauty. When you've got shorter tracks, I mean, it's only 11 corners. You know, it goes pretty quickly, doesn't it? In terms of the amount of laps that they do and the action that goes on there. So no problem, no problem, no problem, no problem. Oh, what? Did you just get a love tap? I think you did, because the way the car moved there. Let's have a look at that, down into T1. So he's coming in, everything's looking totally fine, or maybe, no, he didn't get a love tap, he just, wow, he evidently, that car just got completely out of shape, and he had to back out of that one. So that's allowed Magnani to move up a spot, and he's dropped another one as well to Bugnara, so I don't know if he's got an issue there. Alessandro just subscribed. Is that to my YouTube channel and to the Twitch channel? I'm sure it is. I hope it is, because it's going out on both. That would be brilliant. Brilliant if it was. But I don't know. If you have, well, you haven't. So yeah, we've got some good fights. We've got some good fights going on over here. Let's move down the grid. So Johannes Weiss, let's have a look at everybody. There's only 33 in, so everyone can get some time. Johannes Weiss is currently running in 10th position, only 0.3 away from Kellaway. So again, we've got this fight that's happening, but he can't just concentrate on Kellaway. Again, we say this quite often when we're doing the live commentary. He's in a position at the moment. Yes, he's only a couple of attempts behind him, but he's also only a couple of attempts in front of these two who are chasing him down, and that's Christian Stock. We know he's no slouch in a Porsche, and you can see just behind him is a rather angry, bright-looking Fazekas. Evidently, he wants to get back through the field after what's happened. Hey, Coop's calling from the Atlantis de Palm. Hello, Mr. Young. How are you? Good man. I hope that you're giving Caitlin and Dean a fabulous holiday, which I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are, man. So who else? We've just had a big mover there. Everyone's moved up. So Patino looks like he's had an issue in the Honda, so he's moved down the grid certainly. But let's stick with this one because this is looking pretty feisty. Well, the Lambo's definitely got a toe on that Aston Martin, and I'm 100% sure Kellaway is heavily fueled at this stage of the race, because literally as soon as we get anywhere where there's a short traction zone, well, especially here down the back straight into the inner loop, every time that happens, he's immediately under pressure, massive pressure. Now, and I don't know, I mean, if I was him, I'd be getting quite annoyed, because every lap, people are really getting on his back at every stage. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that one as they continue their battle. So Christian's just behind. What's Christian? Well, again, as I said, Christian can't just focus forward because he's got Fazekas behind him. We know Fazekas was running in the top 4 at the beginning of this race, so he knows he's got a quick individual behind him. And we also know the Porsche is a little bit leery when she wants to be, especially. And is he going for a move? He is going for a move down the inside. Is that going to pay off? So he does make that move stick on the inside. So he loses that position. That frees Fazekas to go and try and get involved with Kellaway and Weiss, who are just in front of him, as you can see. So maybe that was a good thing to do from Christian, but unfortunately for Christian, so we've had one person who's passed him, who's been trying to fight their way back through the field. We have the other. Perez obviously is Fazekas' teammate, as you can see there, exactly the same livery. And remember, they were both involved in that T1 incident, and they're now fighting their way through. Kate says, thanks for the shout out. No problem, Kate. Just subscribe to my channel. That's all you need to do. Just subscribe to it. Attach it to your beauty channel. Put it on your Instagram. Do something. But all good, all good. So Emmanuel Raggi is running in 13th position in the 77 Honda, as you can see there. Raggi's 2.8 seconds ahead of Catalona. Catalona in the Nissan. Good, we've got a Nissan. Good. Actually, we had a Nissan last night in the other race that I was doing, who actually won the race in his particular class. And looked absolutely fantastic to drive, I have to say. I do think she's underrated. But we shall see. So Manuel Catalano's in 14th position. He's got himself a 3.4 second gap back to this individual, Rodolfo Lunardi, in a 375 BMW. And he doesn't have himself. Well, I think he's got a few things to think about. Most certainly does. So Lunardi is in 15th place. That's Max Oliger just behind in the number 11 BMW, and then just behind him we've got Lorenzo Vasserani in the 47. So we've got these three individuals. They're covered by 7/10, which is brilliant for us. Go Petrosini. Yes, Toto Spino. Petrosini is doing very, very well this evening. Good qualifying session. Okay in practice, not massively, you know, didn't set the world alight in free practice. Showed us the pace in qualifying and is doing very, very well in the race. Although I have to say that his gap is also down to the fact that the individuals behind him did have a very slight love tap and they did drop back a little bit, but his consistency looks pretty good. So Lunardi, what's his last lap? A 45.4. Okay, and Oliger's a 45.6. So Vasserani is, it would appear Vasserani is the quickest out of these three, because his last lap was a 45.4, so that was quicker than the other two. So he's obviously going to want to make sure he can try as he may. He's only 0.2 behind at the moment as they go down the back straight up towards the inner loop. Let's see what happens here from this point of view. Hopefully we don't see cars going left and right. He pulls out to the left, so he's trying to make a move hard on those brakes. Oh, that is... Wow! I thought Max Oliger got in there a little bit too fast, a little bit too hot going through there, and it would appear so, because he evidently took too much speed through the first part of the inner boot and then ended up going wide, hence why he went off the grass and then lost that position. So, I mean, bravery Max, but didn't get the result that you wanted, so he drops down to 17th position. Karai is in 18th. Now he fancies a piece as well, because he's seen the action that's going on up front, and he can obviously hear me on stream and he's thinking, oh, I want to be on TV as well. Well, you can, of course you can. And in 19th we've got Bogdanovic in his orange Aston. Yeah, you're not going to miss that one. No one's going to miss that one, are we? Not at all. And just behind, when I say just behind, 4.1 seconds down the road, we've got Luka Zverkov. So he's not having the race that he certainly wanted to have this evening. He's in 20th. He is number 20. Yeah, he's just got to keep going, hasn't he? David Gowry's in 21st position in the 115 Aston. Again, we've got another little gaggle of cars looking to come together here. He's a second ahead of Sebastian Patino, and then that's only 0.5 ahead of Benelli, and Centolino is also only a second behind. So these four, they're all continuing together. They're going to have a nice little scrap in a moment as well. Where are we? 46 minutes left to go, so I would suggest probably in about 4 minutes time the pit lane's going to open. And then we're going to get to see some strategy calls, which is good. Is he going to go? Is he going to get the move done down the inside to T1? He's certainly heavy later on the brakes. Does get the inside line. Pushes the Aston wide a little bit. The Aston's got a good drive through there. Trying a little bit of a switcheroo. That's not going to happen. So it's now his turn to drag. It's now his turn to do the drag. Up through the S's. Again, nothing happening through here. You're just about keeping your line, making sure you're pretty much straight line with this little sequence of S's, then hard on the brakes. Got to get the line right through there, because ideally through the second part, those third and fourth curves, you want to be straight and flat. That's the plan. Anyway, and then through the outer loop, use all the curve on the outside, pull it across to the right, down with the brakes, down a couple of gears, then be patient, let the car roll in. Now go. Now go. Push that throttle, drift out wide. Could have taken more there, I feel, but anyway, fantastic driving. It's not that he's not under pressure, is it? Oh my word. And who's that? That is Benelli, isn't it? So Benelli in the 222 nearly took him out, and then Benelli finds himself now. He's in a bit of a fight, isn't he? As they go with a Porsche, and that Porsche looks like she's had don't touch, boys. Oh, how close do you want it? And they do a little love tap, but I think that actually helped keep them both on track there, although they'll probably be saying some form of Europeanness to each other, I would suggest, at this stage. So Benelli drops down into 22nd position. Baldinidi in the rather pink Aston Martin is currently running in 25th place. Guaglio is 27th, no, he's 26th, sorry, excuse me, in the 22 Ferrari, but he's still going, that's what counts. Matoli is 27th. Now, that's telling me that does get on my nerves a little bit, I've got to say. Back at the front, Petrosini is 5.1 seconds clear, so that's definitely going to please some of you that are watching on the Twitch channel. Certainly is going to please you guys. He's doing very well. He's just keeping it tight. He's not doing anything crazy. Let's get on board and have a little listen and a watch, see what it's like to be the race leader around Watkins Glen, and obviously try to miss the blancmange that is in front of us currently. I'll try not to choke on this time. Okay. See, look. There's no drama, there's no drama going on whatsoever at the moment. And through the last corner, a little bit of a twitch, but he's not stamping on the throttle, he's not stamping on the brakes. I actually want to see what the Audi's like going through the inner loop. That would be good to see. Let's get on those brakes down to third, drop it into second then. No, he's going to stay in third, which evidently that will just be a little bit safer through there. It's not going to put the car under any massive pressures in terms of engine braking and then dabbing the throttle and all those bits. So he's just... I'm not saying he's coasting, he's just taking his time. Oscar Hall. I think we need to move. We do. Oscar Hall finds himself Aston on Aston challenge. This is for the podium, ladies and gents. This is for the podium. And you can see Catricalo is only just in front as well. So this is a really, really good battle here. So Petrosini, essentially, he's out on top on his own. He's got himself near enough 5 seconds in the bag. Then we've got these three separated by about 1.3 seconds. Then we've got another 4.5 seconds back to Magnani. So this is your stellar fight at the front of the grid. And of course, we've got 2 podium positions up for grabs and 3 of them who are jousting for those positions. Go, go, go. All over the back of him. Any touching? Any touching? No. Good little Astons. They seem to be quite friendly at the moment, which is good. That's what we all like to see, don't we? So those two certainly having a very, very good scrap. Oscar makes the pass. Pit window was open. I did say it would open in about 4 minutes. It's been 4 minutes, so pit window was open. They've now got 20 minutes in which to complete their pit stop. How do we know they've got a pit stop to do? Well, if you have a look at the information you've got on your screen, between their name and their driver number, you've got that sort of gold, yellow 1. Yeah, I'm sure it should be gold. That suggests that they have, or that denotes that they do have a pit stop to complete. Once that is done, that will change from being a 1 to just being green, and then we know they're good to go until the end of the race. So you guys and girls can keep your eyes on the strategy and what is happening as it all plays out, which is exactly what we want to see. Well, whoever has subscribed, I've just seen that's gone up one. Thank you very much. I'm not looking at my stream screen, so I can't see all those bits. I'm concentrating on the actual racing. But whoever that is, probably Kate. Cheers, Kate. Dean. What? I thought it was a partnership. That's definitely a private... Well, it's not even a joke, is it? You guys won't know them. Okay, that's all good. That's all looking good. Blum, blum. Can't help it. Just love the sound of that car. I do love the sound of that car. But again, you can see Oscar's pace. You can see Oscar's pace. I said he was extremely quick. He was top of the charts in free practice. He didn't have the best qualifying session, but he has made his way through the field during the course of the first 25 minutes of this race. Finds himself on the podium and has already pulled a gap back to Andrea. We know how quick Andrea is. So we'll just see if Andrea is just composing himself a little bit now, just making sure those tyres are okay, because again, we don't know who's going long or who's stopping early. I did predict earlier on that this individual, Kellaway, in his Aston, was going to go long because of the issues that he was having through the inner loop in the first few laps of the race. He was just going backwards qualified 10th. He has now got himself back up to 10th. But was just having some huge issues, unfortunately. So, oh, hold on. Magnani still in 5th. He looks pretty safe, doesn't he? Brugnara in his Audi. Well, he looks pretty safe, although he's got some company. And close company as well. It's Brugnara 1 and 2. They're not 1 and 2 in terms of position, but they're in 6th and 7th. So these two are going at it, which is going to be really interesting to see. I keep saying every time we come together on this, and with the Clarksons as well, what is at stake for these guys? Is it family pride? I don't know. I mean, they're not in the same machinery, are they? So it can't, you can't really say, well, I'm better than you are, because they are in different cars, and obviously different cars suit different tracks and different driving styles, although they are both the type of car that would hit you in an instant. And as we're looking at this scrap here, Oscar is now, you can see how close he is to the back of Catricardo's Ferrari, so he's looking to potentially get himself into P2. Fazekas down in 9th is only 3/10. Well, that needs looking at, doesn't it? It's only 3/10 behind Johannes Weiss in 8th in his Lamborghini. So we do have some really interesting battles going on at the moment. Centolino is in the pits, and Karai is also in the pits. Quickest lap of the race at the moment. He's still being held by Matteo Petrosini, which is a 1:43.890, and we've got a little bit of dicing going on here, a little bit of showing the nose, just putting the car across the track a little bit, using the racecraft, trying to put the other person off, make them miss their braking zone, or just a little mistake, because that's all these guys need. We'll see if that mistake comes, but these guys are having a good battle. Gran Turismo cam. I have to do it because Steve's watching and that's how he drives. I don't know why he does it. I have no idea. Callaway's just dropped 2 positions as well. That's why, because he's coming to the pits. Game on, absolute game on. This battle, I think this battle is going to end up in the pits, to be quite honest with you. So Callaway, remember, I thought Callaway had fueled long, so we'll see how long his pit stop is, because he has pitted fairly early. I mean, the pits are, oh my word, he's got a terrible run out of there, all over the gravel, and that's allowed that. Oh, and they've touched, he kept it. I believe he's managed to keep hold of that. That was some fantastic driving, although that's brought him under pressure. Let's have a look at this. They've both got a fistful of oversteer, didn't they? Yes, they did, but that's brought Andrea right onto the back of them, which I'm sure we're going to see any moment now. So there is 2nd, 3rd and 4th, all absolutely nose to tail. Blimey, oh crikey. This is some really, really good close racing, and they've still got 37 minutes left to go. So pit strategy is going to be very, very important. I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago with regards to the strategies. And yes, you could do manual pit stops, you could do automatic pit stops. Don't be touching the wall, Oscar. That's probably not the best play for you. Yeah, so you could do a number of different things. Again, it would depend on how they fuel, or the condition of those tyres when they come back out. We'll see what happens. But a couple of weeks ago, the pit stops, I can't remember who it was now, but someone ended up jumping 3 people to get onto the podium because their pit stop was about 4.8 to 5 seconds quicker. So it does really make a difference. You're not catching that one. Go. Right, so who else is going to the pits? Catalano is in the pits. That's allowed Vasarani in 11th and Lunardi to move up a position each, which is fantastic to see that. We can't come off this, can we? Not at the moment, ladies and gents. I can't come off this at all, because this is your battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th position. We need to be able to keep our eyes on that. Just a little bit further back, Magnani's still in 5th, Brugnara is 6th, Brugnara is 7th. That gap's now increased to 1.5 seconds. Weiss is still running in the top 10, which is fantastic, in 8th. Fazekas is now in 9th, 0.4 behind Weiss, so he's looking to continue his march up the grid, certainly, as these two get rather close yet again. Christian Stock in his Porsche rounds out your top 10. Then you got Vasarani in 11th, Lunardi 12th, Bogdanovic 13th, And there's all fairly decent gaps between those individuals. Patino's in 14th, 4.8 down the road, and then Benelli's in 15th. Then we've got Kellaway, who's just managed to move up a position. You'll see he's now got the green stripe next to his name, so he is first of the people that have pitted. Catalano is just on the way out of the pits. Max Oliger has pitted in 18th position. Baldinini is in 19th, hasn't pitted yet, it's another 10 seconds down the road. Then Karai's in 20th, has pitted. Matoli 21st, has not pitted. Gowry's in 22nd, has pitted. Samuel Bugnara comes in from 7th place. Probably looking for an undercut, I would suggest. Where did we get to? Where did I get to? Gowry, didn't we? Yep. Manuel Raggi's in 23rd position. I don't know if he's pitted or not, but I don't want to check just yet in case we miss a move. Perez is 24th. 24th, he must have pitted. Wow, you can just see, you just saw there, so Oscar is evidently the Team Carbon Aston in the sandwich, and he absolutely threw that in, didn't he? Threw that in. Good stuff. He's obviously comfortable with his setup. Centolino is 25th, and then 26th is Loris Guaglio. Well, that is your grid at the moment. So Bugnara's in, Vasirani's in, Stock is in, Bogdanovic is in. So we're going to see how all this plays out at the moment. When will these three blink? Petrosini is 6.4 seconds up the road. Petrosini, if I was him, I would just go to the end of the pit window, to be quite honest with you at the moment, because he's not under any pressure. As long as he's got the fuel there, just keep it going. Why come into the pits, risk coming out into some traffic? Why put yourself under that pressure? Just keep it going for as long as you can. Keep building that gap, 10th or 2 here and there. And obviously he's thought, no, Coops, no, I'm pitting right now. And he does. So Catricala pits, and as does Magnani. So we have action, ladies and gents. So that means this man, Oscar Hull, is currently your net leader of the race. And he's got Andrea just behind him, under a second. So these two Astons are having a really good race today. As Petrosini is in the pits, Magnani's in the pits, Catricala is in the pits. So Samuel Bugnara is now currently your main guy who's already pitted, and that is running in 12th position. So we're halfway through the race, pretty much. Now, obviously, before everybody did pit, we did have some really good close battles going on. But again, this will now, what their pit stop was, is going to have a big impact, a really big impact on where they're going to come out. So are they going to come out into those close battles again? Are they going to come out into clean air? Are they going to come out, because there's only 11 corners, it's not a big track. It's a very tight track. So are they going to come out in traffic? Is that going to hinder them? Who knows? So Petrosini is out. Catricala is coming out as well, as is Magnani. Bugnara is already out. Right, where's Petrosini? Let me just have a quick look. So Petrosini, who's the 112? We've got somebody off track at the moment. We'll check that in a minute. So there's Petrosini. Oh, that looked like Perez. Was that Perez, or it was Perez? Unlucky dude. Don't know what happened to Perez there, but so Petrosini's come out. He's now in 6th position, but has completed his pit stop as Oscar and Andrea come in at exactly the same time. Now, who's going to have the quickest pit stop? So Petrosini, his pit stop was 33.2 seconds. Okay, so we can keep an eye on that. And Magnani was 33.2. Alessandro Catricala was 36.7. Ouch, that's a little bit longer, that one. So we'll see what these two get up to. Petrosini. So Bugnara's in and Weiss is in as well. So Lunardi is your only one in the top 5 who hasn't pitted at the moment. We'll see if he decides to do so. And what we've got 2 corners left at the moment for this chap. And then we'll see. So where is he going to come out? So down the start and finish straight he goes. So remember, he had 6 seconds in his pocket, around about 6 seconds in his pocket before he pitted. So Oscar's just coming out at the moment. It's going to be more than 6 seconds, I do believe. So Oscar's on his way out. Andrea's on the way out as well. So remember, Petrosini's pit stop. So look at that. Look at that. So 6.6 is what that's telling me. So pretty much even. 33.2 for Petrosini. Oscar was 33.2 as well on the nose. Andrea's pit stop was actually 33 seconds, so it was quickest out of all of them. Magnani's a 33.2, Samuel Brugnara did a 32.9, 32.5 Jonathan Weiss, that's the quickest one I've got on here. So, pit stop team of the day goes to Johannes Weiss's team in 8th currently. I don't know what you get as a prize, but well done to you guys. So Petrosini's net P1 still keeps that 6-second lead. Remember, Oscar and Andrea in 2nd and 3rd place, or 3rd and 4th as is at the moment, they were separated by what? Half a car's length? They were that close. They're not anymore. It's 2.3 seconds. 2.3 seconds is a huge gap. It really is. And then we've got Magnani is in 5th place. He's 5.6 down the road as well. So he's not getting involved, but this guy here, he is. So Kellaway, currently in 9th, putting the pressure on our pit stop team of the week. And Lenardi decides he's going to come into the pit, so that's your only outlier out the way. Raggy hasn't pitted yet in 20th position. I'm sure he will do shortly. He's probably got about 3 and a bit minutes left of that pit window. 3 or 4 minutes left of that pit window being open, ladies and gents. So normal order is fastly being restored, but Kellaway's now only 0.3, 0.2 behind as we go across the start-finish straight. Is he going to be able to put himself in a position where he can make a challenge? So moves himself up to 8th by virtue of Lenardi being in the pits. I think he wants 7th though, don't you? Catalona is in 11th place, Max Oliger's in 12th, Fasarani 13th, only second between those two. Fazekas, after the pit stops, Fazekas finds himself down in 14th. Just 0.1 between these two. No, they're holding station. I just think that the inner loop is a bit of a potential nemesis there for Kellaway, and I think he's just making sure he's taking it nice and steady. Doesn't want to have any issues, and that is not a bad thing to do, mate. It's not at all. Back up to 8th. You're challenging for 7th. Can't be too disheartened by that. Where else are we close? Bogdanovic. There we go. In his Aston Martin, and Lenardi in the Beamer. Let's have a look at these two. Through the inner loop, BMW, you would assume, is going to be pretty stable through there. Just playing about with the gears a little bit. So Lenardi is in 14th position. Bogdanovic, as you can see behind, is in 15th. Then Patino is closing up quite rapidly on them, isn't he, in the 111 Honda. So he's only a second down the road in 16th. Karai is a bit further down the field, isn't he, in 17th, 6.2 seconds. Catricala's 2.8, Gowry's 16.8. Okay, so there's another split in the pack there. And then Raggy still hasn't pitted yet in the 77 Honda. I'm sure that's going to take place very, very shortly. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party, Timo. What's he thinking? What's he thinking in his head? He's thinking, right, I've been catching these guys up for a few laps now. Evidently I've got more pace than them because I'm in the OP Honda. Where am I going to make the move? Or am I just going to push? Personally, what I would be doing here is I would be pushing... What's this? What's this? I would be pushing Bogdanovic in front of me in the Aston to try and get him to make a mistake. Or for him then to also try and make Lenardi make a mistake. And I think that's exactly what we've got going on here. 3 abreast, that's a double toe, double slipstream, which is going to be pretty nice for him as they go into the inner loop. And he does, he gets that position done. So he makes one up. That puts Bogdanovic down into 15th position now. Can Patino get the job done on Lunardi's BMW and then start to chase Vasarani, although that's 18 seconds down the road, so I'm not 100% sure if that would happen or not. I'll have to wait and see. Most certainly. Well, we got 25 minutes left of this race. So it was, I've got to say, the start of the race was eventful. We had a lot of stuff going on as Kellaway is now... Ooh, okay, so he's still in the hunt. Still in the hunt, isn't he? And Lunardi's still defending like his life depends upon it. Where else are we close? Bogdanovic is obviously only 0.2 behind in this current battle, so we'll stick with Patino because he's in the sandwich, isn't he? Karai, where is he? 6 seconds, 6.5 seconds down the road. He's being closed down by Catricala. Now, Catricala, how the thingy did Catricala end up down in 17th position? That is not what you want to see. That's an interesting camera angle. I didn't ask it to do that. Okay. The cameras have all turned round, done what they like. Interesting. Or maybe it's because it's that car. I need to see that again. Look at that. That is a really... I've never seen that before. I'm actually, you can see, I'm genuinely like, hey. Oh no, you're not getting that one. Oh, how did he... I thought he'd be going straight off there. Anyway, gets the move done. About time too, so he can set about this battle in front, and it's still exactly the same. So these guys are completely locked in this battle at the moment. Three-way battle. This is for 13th, 14th and 15th place. So no one's stepping on the podium, are they? But however, I'm sure they're all having an absolutely fantastic time. No doubt working very, very hard there, as you can see. Patino weaving in and out, really trying to put Lunardi off. Lunardi's just got to not ignore that. You have to be aware of what's going on around you in case you need to, place your vehicle in a more appropriate way. But you've got to concentrate on what you're doing. That's the main thing. And these are your closest battles at the moment. Fazakas is still trying to come back at the back. He's 0.4 behind Centurino. And that's down in 20th and 21st position. And into the pits comes Patino. Got to be a fuel issue. Got to be a fuel issue. If I could patch into him right now, I'd ask him that question, but I can't. So anyway, fastest lap of the race is currently with Oscar Hall in second place on 1:43.472. Pit window is closed, you just heard that. Or maybe, hold on a moment, hold on. Is he doing a drive-through? Well, that would appear he's just driven through the pit lane, so he's probably had himself a drive-through for track limits. That's probably what's happened there, and that's allowed the 115 Aston of David Gowrie from the UK in 17th place. That's allowed him to pick up a spot as well. And let's see what Fazakas is up to. Has he got the move done yet? No, but I'm sure he wants that move. He must be annoyed. Annoyed is the best word to use. It's the best word to use. Porsche versus Honda. No contest, I'm afraid. No contest whatsoever. As he gets that move done on the back straight down towards the inner loop, hard on the brakes, get it in, and then just straight line it. Go, throttle, boom! Nice. Nice, well that's got you into the top 20, Barnabas. I'm sure you'll be really happy about that. Guaglio is still running in his Ferrari, having a terrible race today, unfortunately. And we don't know though, he might never have driven on this track before. We don't know these circumstances, do we? So he finds himself in 26th position. Remember, we did have 33 starts, so we've lost 7 along the way. I don't know why. Perez is running in 25th. Remember, was in second place. He was having a great race. Really strong pace in qualifying. And, to be fair, I've got to be fair to him, he's still going. A lot of people would probably have rage quit, but he's still running. So Just finished the race, mate. Finished the race. It's all good. And then we've got Emmanuel Raggi in the 77 Honda, who's in 24th position. Matoli in the 46 McLaren. There you go. Still running in 23rd place. And Baldinini in the 26 Pink Aston is still running at the moment in 22nd. And as you can see on your screen, there's some pretty sizable gaps between all of those individuals. Then we've got Centurino is only 1.3 behind Fazekas at the moment, so maybe he's looking to see if he can get that battle back, see if he could get a place back, but I don't think that line's going to help you do that, unfortunately, Centurino, and that's just going to put you under blue flag pressure now, and that's going to be a lap down. So up top, this chap, oh, that is going to be a bit gutting, isn't it? Oh no, it's not. That's not the person I thought it was. So the 85 Audi of Matteo Petrosini would appear to be absolutely untouchable this evening. We've got under 20 minutes left of this, so only 20 to go. He's still holding a 4.3 second lead over Oscar Hall. Now remember, Oscar started way back down the grid and has been really fighting the entire race. Currently holds the quickest lap of the race, and normally when you see a fastest lap, it's a little bit here or there. Well, let's put it this way. The Andrea in third place has done a 43.7. Petrosini, who's leading the race, has done a 43.8. And Oscar has done a 43.4. So he is quite a bit quicker than everybody else. Maybe he put on a new pair of boots in his pit stop. Again, we don't know, do we? We don't know, but he's certainly showing some decent pace. In fact, let's compare those two. Let's have a look at what their lap times were previously. So in the last lap, yeah, you can see, can't you? So he's quicker in sector 1. Obviously that lap I think is invalid. Quicker in sector 1, quicker in sector 2 and 3. So he is catching. It's only 4.3 seconds. We'll have to keep our eye on that, just to see if that develops. We'll take that off now. Let's have a look at Oscar. Let's have a look at him battling away. He's got Andrea behind him by 5 seconds behind him. So no challenge. No challenge for him at the moment. He's got to make sure he picks his way through the back markers in a sensible manner that doesn't jeopardise his or anybody else's race. Still 4.3 is the delta to Petrosini, 4.9 back to Andrea. So he's looking comfortable at the moment, isn't he? So Andrea in the Aston is also looking pretty comfortable there. He's got 9.3 seconds back to Brugnara, and Brugnara finds himself having a bit of an epic scrap here with Magnani. So Brugnara's just got that move done, it would appear, and that's put Magnani back into 5th position. I have to say, Samuel, that's pretty stellar drive from you at this stage. Again, didn't qualify massively near the front, but it's just been extremely consistent. But I know what it is. I know what it is. It's because I managed to get a livery on. That's what it is. So Magnani finds himself in a Brugnara sandwich at the moment. Samuel in front, who he's trying to chase down and get the position back. And you just saw coming over the brow of the hill there, we've got Mattia Brugnara, well, this individual in the 29 Ferrari. So he's really trying, isn't he? He's really trying to catch these two up. He's got 4.8 seconds to do that, though, which is quite a large gap, considering that we're under 17 minutes. Patino's just gone yellow, and he is steady. Oh no, who was that? Oh, that was Oscar. He's just taken Oscar out. Oh, I'm sure he just clattered Oscar, and Oscar did a 360. If he's held on to that 360 after that's just happened, he did do a 360, just bounced off the wall. He's got to be carrying damage. Let's get on board with him. He must be carrying damage. Let's have a look at his steering. Well, what was that lag? That was a massive lag spike. She doesn't look too bad at the moment, so I'm going to come away. I don't want to put any kind of commentator's curse on him, but that was lucky. I mean, That was very, very lucky. So his gap is now only 1.5 seconds to Andrea. So if Andrea needed any extra motivation for the last 15 minutes of this race, there you go, mate. It's right in front of you. It's 1.5 seconds in front of you. Chip away at that. Chip away a tenth of that. Yeah, a tenth a minute, and you'll be there on the final turn. And we can have a grandstand finish. Let's see what happens. So Samuel's currently still in fourth. He looks like he's pretty much got Danilo Magnani covered. He's elongated that gap out to a second. So I will obviously keep an eye on that because it's a pretty close one. And Mattea hasn't really managed to impact on those guys as it stands. Johannes Weiss in 7th place. You know what? Johannes is having a good race. You know, again, Kellaway's not far behind, only a second, but he's having a decent race. You know, nothing majorly fancy going on. It's just being very steady, doing his job. It's all good. Well done. That's your top 8. Christian Stock in his Porsche is 9th. And then Emmanuel Catalano rounds out the top 10, ladies and gents. So let's have a look at them all. There you go. There's Stock in his Porsche. What was his last lap? 44. No, his last lap was a 45.1. The quickest lap's 44.4. So he has got 6/10 in there somewhere. But again, it may be a tyre issue. So I am seeing more people go wide on T1. And there's Catalano in his trusty Nissan. Again, into the top 10. But he does have company. Lorenzo Vassirani isn't too far behind in the 47 Audi at all. So that could close up and give us some excitement during the last sort of 10 minutes of the race. But Max isn't too far behind either. Come on, Max. Push that Beamer. I'm not a fan of Max. I'm a fan of all of them. But I just thought I'd try and give him a bit of encouragement there. He's a few seconds down the road. Lenardi's in 13th. So Lenardi's still heading that pack. And then Bogdanovic, well, there he is as well. And remember, we did have another individual involved in that, and that would be Sebastian Patino, but we saw him facing across the track at some point. So evidently he's heading off somewhere. Catricala is refusing to stop, and he's still on a charge, up to 15th position, only 1.3 behind Bogdanovic. I'm thinking Catricala is going to do Lenardi and Bogdanovic before the end of this race. And potentially, you never know, could end up with a very late challenge on the top 10. Jacopo Carai, there you go, is in 16th position. The 74 BMW. Gowry's in 17th. How far back is he? He's 20 seconds down the road, which is, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, you drive the pace you drive at, you do the race you can. We don't know all the incidents that have happened during the race. Certainly I was a victim of that in the spa 24 hours. People assuming what's going on, but if you're not in the car, you have no idea. And Barnabas Fazekas still going for it. Still going for it in 18th position. Centurino in 9th in his Porsche. 19th. Benelli's in 20th. Patino, and there he is. Finds himself back in 21st. And then we've got Maldonini's 22nd, Matoli's 23rd, Raggi's 24th, Guaglio's 25th, and Perez is plumb last. Did not see that one coming tonight at all. So these three are all looking pretty close. Fazekas looks like he's just getting a move done, and that was just done. Let's have a look. So he's got to be onto the braking zone. Yeah. Nice and clean, nice and easy, gets the move done. So well done to you, Fazekas. Who were we looking at? Patino was involved in another battle. Yes, he is. So this is Patino, Benelli, and Centurino, 19th, 20th, and 21st. Well, I tell you what, though. I mean, if anything, Patino's had a brilliant night. Let's be honest. I mean, okay, he's not in the position he'd want to be in, but he's been having some great battles for pretty much the entire race, isn't he? And we're approaching what? We're 11 minutes to go. Dive up the inside, not a dive bomb. He was more than sufficiently alongside to make that move stick, and he does. Now we've got some blue flags going on because we've got people coming around to do laps, and that would be, who's that? That's Brugnara, isn't it? Brugnana and Magnoli are coming through. Magnani even. Yes, they are indeed. So, at the top of the table, we still have Petrosini is still leading the way. Oscar is still in second, and Drea still in third place. Have they got much closer in terms of their gaps? No, it's still 6.4. That gap is not moving at all. And Andrea has dropped half a second since we were last with him and Oscar. So that's looking, again, pretty secure. Obviously, it only needs to be a tiny error, as Oscar did. Well, Oscar didn't make that error earlier on, did he? I think he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, shall we say. He was definitely a passenger on that one. But yeah, he's got 1.8 back. Brugnara's doing a solid job in fourth place, still holding off Magnani. They are going through traffic at the moment, so that gap's only 1.2. Who knows what's going to happen with that? Vasarani's only 0.3. Come on, Vasarani. Let's give us some action. Let's attack the Nissan. 1.3 between these two. Kachikala is only 0.4 now behind Bogdanovic. Remember, I did say a couple of laps ago, I did feel that Kachikala would definitely get a move done on Bogdanovic even, and also on Lunardi. So we'll have to see if that happens or not. Anybody in the live chats, what do you think? What do we think is going to happen at the end of this race? If you haven't dropped a follow for the ERS Twitch channel, which this is on, please do. Similarly, if you haven't been over to my YouTube channel, which this is also being streamed on at the same time, please do so. COMMS by Coops, have a look. If you like it, drop a like. If you want to see the rest of this series or any of the other leagues or special events that I do COMMS for, consider a sub. You'll see on there we did the 24 Hours of Spa at the weekend, and that was truly an epic event. And well done, I have to say, well done to everybody involved over at FRL, because that went very, very well indeed. Kellaway, he's not happy with that position, is he? Definitely wants another one, and Vice, for all of Kellaway's pressure, is defending very, very nicely at the moment in the 2.71. We'll see if he can keep it up for the rest of the race. Only 0.4 between these two. Vasarani is now 0.2 between him and Catalano, and Catricalo is about to put a move on Bogdanovic. Well, he's lined him up. Is he going to dive? Is he going to dive up there? No. I think Bogdanovic you saw just a slight move to the right there, just to let him know you're not flying up the inside there, pal. Yeah, you're going to have to wait, or you're going to have to do it somewhere else. So that was a small, but I think powerful message that was being sent there by Mateusz Bogdanovic. So those two are having a really good battle, and obviously as I came away from that, the other battles are now getting even closer, aren't they? So Vasarani, we're into full racecraft zone now, aren't we? We're into making the other person think, second guess, take the eye off the ball. 7.5 minutes left of this race. It's been a fabulous 65-minute race so far. Ooh. Well, that was close, wasn't it? That would be my biggest fear. I watch these guys do this all the time, and you know they drive so close to each other. It's unreal. My worry all the time is, what if? What if you just miss just a teeny bit? Wow. Catalona went very, very wide there into turn one. That should give Vasarani a decent run. Should give him a better run up the hill through the S's and then across the back straight. So potentially we'll get a slipstream coming off here, and we can get a move down the inside into the inner loop. He is catching. He is catching. He's going to pull out. Is he going to defend? No, he just thinks better of it. Evidently there wasn't enough road there. Definitely wasn't enough road there, but this is some really, really good battling going on here. As we look at, that's a nice livery. That's a nice livery on that Nissan, isn't it? It sure is. But 0.1 between these two, 0.2 between Catricala and Bogdanovic for 40th and 50th, only 0.3 between Patano and Santorini for 19th and 20th, and we're looking at Kellaway and Vice in front. There's only 0.3 between them as well, so we've got four really close battles. Andrea in third place has brought that gap down. It's now only a second behind Oscar in second place. Petrosini looks out of it at the moment, 7.6 seconds down the road. That looks pretty secure as we get on. Those brakes get turned in. So I'm going to make an executive decision. I'm going to come away from this one. I'm going to get onto this one. And we've got this, so it must be the Ferrari. Because I didn't ask it to do that. Fair enough, I'll just do it like that. I don't want that either. The Ferrari, it's got some good camera angles. It's got some good camera. Is that going to follow that way? No, it's not, is it? Okay, Ferrari. It's not the way to get me to spend a lot of time on your car. Please write to Enzo and ask him. I mean, I know it's very state of the art and all that, but yeah, 0.2 between these two. So you know what I'm going to have to do instead? I'm going to have to go on Bogdanovich, and I'm going to have to go there, which I don't mind doing. But I don't want you lot thinking I'm just being biased. Is he alongside? He is alongside into the braking zone, into turn 1. They both turn in. Are they going to kiss? They don't. It's nice and clean at the moment. There may have been a slight rob, if anything, as they continue to power out there. Now they're going to have to run up the S's. What's going to happen? What is going to happen in this particular part of the race? So it looks like Bogdanovich is still just keeping himself ahead. You can see in the rear view mirror, yeah, so he's just kept ahead still. As they come up towards the inner loop once again, 4.5 minutes left, so they don't have too many laps left now. Everybody's got to be very, very aware of that, and will be plotting their moves. And you can see that gap, I think that's under a second, but it's pretty tight, isn't it? Between second and third. That could end up being a last lap dice. Samuel's doing a great job in fourth. I know there's nothing really going on in front of him. He's going to have to do a bit of defending from Magnani behind him, but that gap has pretty much been static for a little while now. So those two, I think that is where their pace is at. And Mattia Brugnara has brought that gap down. He has brought the gap down. It was 4.6, it's now 3.1, so well done to him. Weiss, well, we were watching him earlier on, is defending for his life currently from Kellaway in the Aston Martin. These two have been nose to tail for pretty much since the pit stop. Wow. As he gets pretty close, ducks out to the right hand side. Not sure what he was trying to do there. I don't even think I would have bothered. I just would have sat in the toe a bit longer, but again, you've got to try these things. There's only probably 2 laps left of the race. If they've been this close, you've got to assume that both these two are not making mistakes. So you've got to add something else into the mix that's going to elicit some other type of response from one of them. And that's what Kellaway is trying to do at the moment. And it's fantastic attacking driving and fantastic defending driving from Weiss as well. Been really impressed again with these two. Andrea dipped under a second for a moment there, but it's back to a second now. It's dipped under a second again. This is going to get pretty juicy in the top. Those two, their fastest laps are only separated by 100th, so they are absolutely bang on for pace in the same machinery. It's 0.8 seconds. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, but we are looking at this battle at the moment for 7th and 8th. Cacciacala has not managed to do what I thought he was going to do. I thought Cacciacala would fare pretty easily breeze past Bogdanovich and Lenardi, and that is no disrespect to those two, such as Cacciacala's pace earlier on in this race. Hasn't managed to do that, and has now got himself a position where on the back of him, it's not for position though, is it? Is that? No, it's not Fazekas, it's Perez. So Perez, and then the 112 is behind, but Perez is plumb last, unfortunately, so nothing's going to happen there. Kellaway, where's Kellaway gone? That's showing up as being a little bit too close. Oh, he thought he'd got a move then. He thought that was his move as well. Jonathan thought that was hit Jason. Jonathan? Who's Jonathan? Jason thought that was his time, and on the timing screens it came up and it went ping 0-0, but we're going to get onto the last lap shortly, and here we go, battle for second place. I mean, they're both going to be on the podium, which is fabulous. But who's going to be second and who's going to be third as they come? They're going to be coming across the start-finish line for the last lap, I believe. is on the final lap. So here we go. Right, we've got a 1 lap shootout, ladies and gents, for 2nd and 3rd place. Petrosini's out of there. There's no doubt he's going to win this one. So into T1. Remember, we've got 11 turns to get a move done or to defend. Well, that's one of them out of the way. 10 left to go. That's how these guys need to think about this. Just got to be placing their cars exactly as they need to. Up the S's, up the hill. Keep it pinned, and it is pinned. It's 0.2. Andrea's going to get a tow. Andrea's going to get a tow into the inner loop, and you can see has, oh my word, you've got to defend that for all your life, Oscar. And he does defend it for all his life. Takes a massive chunk of curb, but Andrea is still on the case. This is fantastic racing on the last lap after 65 minutes. What more could anybody want, as they're both absolutely throwing those Astons over the curves. Either of them could have lost it there, but they are absolutely cautioned to the wind at the moment. As we now come over towards the back section, what have we got? We've got a couple in front. Don't think that's going to play too much of an issue. Hard on those brakes, get the car tucked in, squeeze that throttle on now. That's probably Perez in front. And Perez, my friend, you need to do the right thing, and you need to get out of the way of these two as they're coming up to, they've just done boot. I don't know, I think that looks pretty safe. They've both got off the line, they've both got good traction out of there. I think that's pretty safe. I do indeed think that's pretty safe as we're coming up towards the penultimate corner now. If there's going to be a dive, it's got to be now. Don't think that's going to happen as Petrosini crosses the line. Well done, Matteo Petrosini. P1 in round 5. You most definitely have earned that, and you can see the two Astons coming round in the background. Well done, boys and girls. Oscar, great drive to come back to second. And Andrea, what can I say? Great drive again from you on the podium. Well done, you three. That was most definitely some epic racing at the end there. Samuel, there is old Samuel's crossing the line in 4th place. Well done, Brugnara. That was a very, very good race from you. Magnani, very good, very consistent. That was a good 5th place score for you. And then Matteo Brugnara finishes in 6th place. Well done, good recovery drive. Johannes Weiss manages to hold off Jason Kellaway till the end then. Well done. Really great driving in that Lamborghini. I was very, very impressed with that Weiss. And Kellaway again, 2nd time in a row that I've watched you, and I have been impressed. Christian Stock rocks up and starts. We're going to have some team donuts, are we? Go! Team donuts. Oh no, you're going to have a little chat. Okay. Christian Stock in his Porsche finishes in 9th place. Well done to you. Catalano finishes 10th in the Nissan, just ahead of Vasarani there. Max Oliger is about to finish in 12th position. Well done to you, Max, in the BMW. Rodolfo Lunardi 13th. Catricala gets taken out. What happened there? I mean, that's the last corner. So I'm assuming Catricala was about to try and make a move, and he just went deep and smashed into the wall. Doesn't make a lot of sense, that one, anyway. So Bogdanovic finishes 13th, Lunardi 14th, Catricala finishes in 15th position, Karai 16th, Fazekas, not the best race for him this evening. He finishes in 17th, Gowri 18th, Patino 19th, Centorini finishes in 20th position, Matteo Bardini 21st, Benelli finished in 22nd, Matoli 23rd, Araghi finished in 24th, Guaglio 25th, and Jose Alejandro Perez plumb last, which is, that is definitely unfortunate there. So let me just come away from that. Let's do that. Let's come over here. So there you go, ladies and gents. That was, well, that was pretty good, I've got to say. That was a good 65-minute race. We had 3 or 4 really close battles right at the end there. We had close battles at the beginning. We had strategy. We had people out of place. It was good. I really enjoyed that. So I'd just like to say congratulations to everyone, really. If you've been watching on the Twitch channel, thank you very much. Please leave a follow. If you've been watching on my YouTube channel, COMMS by Coops, thank you very much. Hopefully you've left a like or maybe a sub. If you're watching on either of those, swap over, because they're being live streamed at the same time. And I'll be back with you guys next week. I think next week we're at Suzuka, which should provide quite a challenge for everybody over there. And who knows what the weather's going to be doing at the same time. But certainly for now, ladies and gents, congratulations to the podium. Well deserved. I'll see you all next week. Thanks to everyone that got involved on the live chats and contributed. I really appreciate that. And comms by Coops out.